This is my party. This is what I believe in, the Constitution. I know it sounds corny. I know it does. I've been called corny before. I'll be called corny again. This is it. Not Jim Jordan. Not Nancy Pelosi. Not Donald Trump. Not Fox News. Not CNN. This is the rule book to be an American. This is the best part. And the people who should know it the most know it the least. Jim Jordan's actually telling Alvin Bragg, get in here. You're going to have to explain to us, the feds, why you at the state level are prosecuting somebody. What? Excuse me, did you remember federalism? Remember this? Where's the Federalist Society? Hello? How about Rand Paul? How about Rand Paul? Throw Alvin Bragg in jail? For what? Throw him in jail for what? What are you talking about? What happens to people? How did these people get this far? Tell me. I don't get it. I'm not in the position anymore of pretending to understand why people act like this. How is it that especially the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst are the media? The media, dear God. We live in a world right now where you've been told and you've been given this impression that somehow this Constitution business is kind of like, well, so long as you don't get in the way, so long as you don't make any waves, you can't say anything if it's disinformation. What does that mean? What's disinformation? Misinformation, disinformation, data information. What does this mean? Well, it's not. No, excuse me. I can't say something because you don't like what I've said? You disagree with it? You think, well, it's not subject to science. Excuse me, science is nothing but one constant refutation of everything. Do you grasp this? They're already arguing now constantly about multiverses, where there's string theories full of it. When they came up with 11 dimensions being responsible to make the math and string theory make sense, the dyed-in-the-wool Einsteinists were going crazy with it. What Einstein said to Newton, you're full of it. What is this thing? That's not gravity. And then the particle physics guy said, well, you're not. It's everything. Our country thrives on disagreement. It's this. It's this. And the best part about it was the first part of the Constitution? Boring. Tell me. You want to talk about the Commerce Clause? Did you ever have any arguments about that? How about the Tonnage Clause for the what? Huh? It's the Bill of Rights. First 8, first 10 amendments. That's it. That's what we're talking about. And none of it has anything to do with victims. And none of it doesn't say anything about the number of justices on the Supreme Court. Never mentions marriage, never mentions gender, never mentions voting, never mentions the Air Force, never mentions anything. And people still think that, well, there's a right to everything from an abortion to guns to this. You have a right. Not that you're allowed to do it because you're not prohibited. Listen to what I said. Many times we have a right to do something. Well, it's not really a right. A right is something that can't be taken away. But we are able to do it because there's nothing that prevents us from doing it. And when it comes to the First Amendment, oh my God, you would think, especially in an industry where these concretized, otiose, this arthritic, comatose, this hoary, anachronistic news structure with these platforms that are cratering, that are shuddering, that are in free fall. They're like a star that burned out millions of years ago, but you still see the light. They don't get it. They don't get it. They're the worst. You shut up. No, you shut up. You can't say that. Remember when the big Twitter files were dropped? Where's Barry Weiss, by the way? What happened to her? Is she with Fetterman? What happened to her? Matt Taibbi and, oh my God. Forgotten. Or we react like, wow. And that's it. That's it. We slam each other. Hey, he was slammed. Anything come of that? Nope. Julian Assange, is he a journalist? According to Bartnicki, against Vopper, 2001 case, Supreme Court case. Anybody talking about him? No. Anybody from CNN or Fox or anybody? No. And the case that's going to be the big daddy of them all is the Dominion case. This is bigger than anything you've ever seen. This is malice. Like if what we think is true is happening. Dear God. But if we talk about it, we're motivated not by an interest in the subject matter, but out of hate and enmity for the other side. Oh, I'll talk about them if they're CNN. I'll talk about them if they're Fox. Oh, well, Trump deserves this. Barack Obama, no. Hillary Clinton, no. Jimmy Carter, Gerald Ford, Franklin Pierce. Who? It depends upon the personality. This doesn't have any reference to if it's a Democrat, a Republican. They don't even mention parties. They don't mention. You think the Whigs or the Democratic Republicans are mentioned here? I don't think so. The Bull Moosers, maybe? No. It's so beautiful, this thing. It's so beautiful. And I love the way, in this country in particular, we go berserk over the idea of, well, could there be disruption? I don't know. Well, there better not be. What about when they were protesting in front of Supreme Court justices' houses? Well, that's different. What about during the George Floyd riots, where billions of dollars of retail, of property destroyed? What about that? Well, I don't know. You mentioned BLM, you mentioned Antifa. Well, but that doesn't. So are you or are you not? What are you, in the plywood business? Only people who made out like a bandit during those periods of time. We, as citizens, as adherents to the Constitution, hate violence. We never protest via violence. We don't break anything. We clean up after we're done. We don't scare. Well, we might scare by virtue of the force of our logic. But we don't do this. You don't do this. But you have to have a single rule for everyone. And Donald Trump is not Donald Trump, orange man from Queens. He was the president of the United States. And Joe Biden is our president. You may not like that. You may not have voted for him. I dig. You may question his senescence, as you're entitled to. But do not lose, again, the sanctity. This is our rule book. This is it. You think I'm sanctimonious? You think this is corny? Come on, tell me. Put your comments down. Tell me I can take it. I dare you. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me. You can't find anything that I've said that's wrong. You may disagree with it, but it's not because it's wrong. Now, I would like for you to like this video. It really helps. Support this channel by subscribing to it. And whatever you do, comment as you see fit.